So I was sitting there in my room doing my usual thing, just watching YouTube and playing games and being lonely. But I did think about something. So recently we got an interview from I might butcher this. Vera Farmiga. I definitely butchered that. I don't have her name pulled up. I'm just doing it off the top of my head, but recently she's been talking about something very interesting. And she said in an interview that her character, and this is a quote from her, that she has figured out a way to communicate with the creatures and potentially control them using their bioacoustics on a sonar level. So she is like a DJ for the dinosaurs. So, very interesting. Before, when I heard the whole control thing, the way people were making out, I kept thinking versus Space Godzilla. But when I actually read the quote for myself, I get more of a, like, Rampage, maybe even 98, what did I just say that? 84 feel out of it. Definitely Rampage, since that's more of a recent example. And not saying that they're taking ideas from Rampage, because Godzilla's been in production for a very long time. I'm like, yeah, there's been reshoots and stuff, but I thought the reshoots just introduced this plot point. You know, I think this plot point has been here for a while now. But I am a little interested because, you know, people have been speculating for a while now. How are they going to get Godzilla and Kong to fight? We only have a trailer yet. We just have those two images, and all we know is the plot points that Michael and she's given out in interviews, and I guess you could say O.J. Jackson too, because he gave some in the past, somewhat. But basically, what we can get out of this is the fact that they're introducing something just out of nowhere in Godzilla 2, where they can start using bioacoustics on the creatures, like, you know, animals, and they'll be able to control their movements pretty much. I don't know if necessarily, you know, I think it will be like Rampage. Honestly, I think it will be very much like Rampage when it comes to that sense. 'Cause I don't think she straight up means like they have full control. I think what they mean is that they'll be able to control basically where the creatures go and what they attack. I think, you know, they can use sound cues and stuff like that, that when the creatures hear them, it'll make them go a certain direction or something, and maybe even attack something. Maybe that's why, you know, the creatures start attacking each other throughout the movie. You know, I'm not going to give my opinion on it now. I'm just saying that's what my speculation of how it's going to work is. What I want to do in this video is talk about why I think we finally got a reason that Godzilla and Kong are going to fight. Now, we don't know how the movie's going to go, or how it ends. Maybe this will all go downhill. Maybe the system will be destroyed. Maybe she'll get murdered. You know, maybe the whole evil organization will be completely obliterated. All that stuff, right? But they're introducing it. And when the people start figuring out, you know, because I'm sure they're going to find out how she's able to control these creatures, I think, you know, it'll become more common knowledge with the organizations if they already had the technology. And I'm starting to think right now, the way this could work, especially with all the backlash that they're already getting, all the people freaking out, like Michael said, after 2014, the fight between Godzilla and Ghidorah is going to cause so much destruction. You know, I remember there's a time travel or a prophecy theory in the movies that Ghidorah is going to lose his head because the cave drawing takes place in the future. You know, 'cause in the the Kong Skull Island comic book, there's a guy who can, like, basically see into the future. And people are believing there's more like that, and that's basically how the prophecy's gonna go, and Godzilla and Kong are gonna destroy. You know, Ghidorah's gonna lose his middle head, and they're just gonna, you know, be fighting. In that picture, though, it shows a lot of death. If that does take place in the future, this battle between them is going to cause so much death and destruction. It's going to come to the point where people are just going to want the creatures dead. Now, I don't know how they're going to do the fight, where it's going to take place, but what if they use these bioacoustics to get either Kong to go somewhere or Godzilla to go somewhere? I would assume, if I got to be smart here, cause even if it's your evil organization, I feel like, why would they want to make these two fight in the city? I'm starting to feel more and more confident they're going to fight on Skull Island at least some point, because there will be less casualties and there will be less, whatever the word is, damage, you know? I forget the word. And I'm thinking, what if they make Godzilla travel Skull Island and just start fighting the creatures on that island in hopes that they'll all just end up killing each other, or at least the other creatures will end up killing Godzilla. Because the creatures on Skull Island have not posed any threat to humanity, because they just seem to stay on their island and they don't seem to mind the rest of the world. So it's like, why did they make Godzilla travel Skull Island and fight the creatures on there in hopes that he would end up getting killed by Kong or another creature on there? You know, there could be a whole scene where Godzilla gets into a fight with a bunch of skull crawlers or something. And it's like, I'm very curious on how exactly they're planning on going with that. But I think the reason, because a lot of people aren't sure, you know, they ain't going to do the whole basically drug up Kong and drag him on a boat to mainland to fight Godzilla thing. I think that, not just the drug up thing, I think it'd be dumb to take Kong to mainland. After you see the destruction and casualties that the fight between him and Ghidorah is going to cause, I think the best move, I feel like they might use their bioacoustics to send Godzilla to Skull Island and have Godzilla and Kong fight. And I'm starting to wonder if that's going to be the reason why these two fight in the first place. You know, not a reason like, oh, it's a force, you know, there's a dominance thing, yada yada. You send Godzilla to Skull Island with those bioacoustics, and then Kong's going to get all territorial and defensive. It would give Kong a reason to fight more. You know, give Kong, you know, that could be that motivation that Kong needs to fight. And then Godzilla could also be, you know, just fighting for his life and being territorial, because Godzilla's a very territorial creature that's been introduced in these movies. What do you guys think, though? Do you guys think these bioacoustics, even if they don't play a major role in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and they end up just being a failed plot point, even without the trailer stuff, do you guys think maybe we're on to something here? Or I am, because I'm curious now. What do you guys think? Put your theories and comments down below. And as always, peace.